Ah! 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 Raju! Akhtar!
Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm here. I was gone last week.
He fucking lived, everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah, I survived my bout of the disease, the virus that was going around, that still is going around. But this is another episode of Shack Out Back. But there's quite a lot to talk about. I was gone for a month, so we'll start with, as we always do, I am
Holy
Danny.
Fuck. Yeah, we're Dan. We're Dan and Jim.
Shut
this
up,
is
Jim.
Shack Out Back.
Yeah, I'm Danny. I'm at DanSama on Twitter, and then we're Shack Out Back. That is Jim over there. He's the guy who's going to be talking as well, and he's at Pop-Eyed Barkin?
No, yes.
Yeah, Pop-Eyed Barkin. I knew I got it. I was looking at the Twitter handles before. And we're also on Twitter under the at Shack Out Back pod that I'm very active on. I get a lot of updates. I get a lot of people agreeing with me. I have a lot of good opinions.
Dan will do little comments and stuff, and he gets like 100 votes and doesn't get any follows. So
I get a lot of updates. I get a lot of people saying thank you, kind stranger, narwhal bacons at midnight, etc., etc. But I need to go. We're going to do the bi-weekly breakdown, but for me, it's kind of a monthly breakdown.
Let's say this week we're doing RRR, and I'm going to say that RRR is fucking epic, so look forward to us talking about that fucking epic film.
Yeah, I haven't recorded in a long time. Last week, if you listened, it was Bran took my place, our friend Bran we had on, and they discussed Buster Scruggs, and it got a shit ton of YouTube views for some reason. I guess the Buster Scruggs cinematic universe gets a lot of views.
How many views did it get?
I think it's over 200 now or something like that.
Oh my
so
God.
People are clamoring for Buster Scruggs news. But yeah, we had to postpone RRR because Jim's a nice guy and he needed to watch it with me. So we watched that fresh in our minds. We watched it yesterday and it was amazing. I'm very excited to talk about it.
It was a great movie. It was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what I fucking needed.
Fantastic movie.
But let's get into the bi-weekly breakdown. Dan, what have you been doing the last month?
Oh, the last month. Let me think. It feels weird to be back recording, but
we went camping.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when the last time. So would it have been the weekend before that, I guess, because then we were supposed to record. So yeah. I don't know if Jim said because I forgot, but we went camping for a nice couple days. We were gone for like a day and a half. We went for, 2 nights?
It was.
2 nights, very nice. Lots of gnats in the air. You could breathe in a big mouthful of gnats if you wanted to between like the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and then also 6 p.m. to 9. We
got there in the evening and Danny and Cassie were swearing and swatting their heads and I'm like, guys, it's fucking dusk. Like they're going to be gone in an hour. And then they were.
Jim tilted his head back and unhinged his jaw and sucked in all the gnats above him, and then they weren't bothering him. That was very fun. It's the most beautiful town in Canada, is what the sign kept on telling us. You can figure out where we were from there.
Godrich?
Yeah, the signs kept on saying it was the most beautiful town in Canada. That's a pretty big thing to say about your town. Not even in Ontario, but in all of Canada, that is the most beautiful area.
Guy had never been to PEI or BC or 100.
Yeah, anywhere. Guy said that who have not been anywhere other than Godrich. But the big news is I had COVID. I officially got it like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. Time is an illusion. Yeah, Jim, I was saying I got COVID from the fellow I bought Yoo-Hoos from. I needed a couple Yoo-Hoos to go camping, and he was talking so close it was like he was breathing directly into my open mouth. He was trying to get me to buy his microwavable
I don't like this fucking
rinds.
Story. I don't like that you went to the fucking flea market and bought American food and got fucking COVID.
That's totally where I got it from. Cans. Like 100% where I got it from. That dude was so close to me, Jim. He was really trying to get me to buy those microwavable pork rinds, and I kept saying I'm okay. And finally, I had to straight up be like, no, I'm not buying them. And he was like, okay. But
Anime,
God, what
other
have I even
things,
played? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to
podcast.
think. I haven't recorded in so long. There's so much.
You've been playing Evil Within 2.
I've been playing the Evil Within 2. That is true. I'm going to probably be done that tomorrow. Very good game. I like it. I hope they continue the Evil Within series. It's not perfect by any means, but it's very, like, Japanesey horror and fun, and the guns feel really good and combat feels good. I tried to watch the Terror show on... It's by AMC, I believe, right,
You
Jim?
should say you finished the book as well.
I finished the book as well. I don't even know what I said last time. Was the last time... I guess I wouldn't have finished the book, because I finished it pretty much a week after camping, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, I finished The Terror by Dan Simmons. Super duper cool book. Dan Simmons isn't a good guy, but he writes good books. And I watched a little bit, like 3 episodes of The Terror, 3 or 4 episodes of The Terror show by AMC that was on Amazon Prime. I feel like a snob because I didn't like it, because every part I was like, oh, the book actually does it better. But Jim liked it a lot, and I could see why people like it a lot. It was shot very beautifully, and all the stuff was very interesting, but everyone was just a white guy. I didn't know who anyone was, because they all kind of looked similar. What else have I been done? Is that it? I went to the local game store. I got some sales. There was some shit going on. I have just been recovering.
You got some kind of drafting game you were playing with Cass. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I got Summoner Wars 2nd Edition. It's a very cool game. It's a 2-player only game. I also got a game called Patchwork by a famous board game producer called Uwe Rosenberg. Very cool. But I've just been I finally felt good enough to go to the gym again, so I started running and biking again and doing all that stuff, and I was getting back into the swing of things with work.
Truly,
it's good.
truly,
yeah.
Nature is healing and Dan is healing.
Yeah, it's good to not, like, just be aching and moaning with pain and screaming. It was the first day was bad.
I loved when he texted me and he was like, Jim, my skin and bones hurt.
Yeah, the first day was really bad, and then even the second day between the first was, like, night and day difference, but the first day was truly horrendous. My lower back was aching, and my knees and, like, arm joints were all sore, and I wanted to lay down straight, but I couldn't, so I had to, like, sleep in a little baby position, but it was pretty bad.
Everyone get vaccinated, like me and Dan.
Yeah, please do.
All right,
Jim,
I'm taking
tell
over.
me what you've been doing.
I have a list here. It's a small list because I've only done 2 weeks worth of stuff, unlike Dan, who is writhing and screaming in pain.
Yep.
I watched the 3 Burials of Malchiades Estrada, which is directed by Tommy Lee Jones. It was a good Western film about a guy carting a corpse across the border.
Okay.
I went to the movie theaters with Jade and we watched Nope.
Yeah, I saw that too. See, I forgot.
Nope was fucking cool as fuck.
I agree. Super fucking cool.
I watched Prey, and it was good, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I think I should watch it in Comanche and not in English. And me and Pat, we watched Up, and I fucking cried. It was very good. I had never seen Up.
So Jim watched Nope, and then he watched Up.
Yeah, and Prey. Very short names. And I'm almost caught up to the last episode of Better Call Saul. The day we're recording this, the season finale came out, but I think I have one more episode to watch, and then this is season finale, so I'm looking forward to that. It's excellent. You've watched Better Call Saul too, Dan. It's a fucking excellent show.
Yeah, I'm caught up to the last season that's on like Netflix and that type of stuff, but when season 5, or what is it, season 5? Season 6? Season 6. I think Cass and I are probably going to get AMC Plus for the 1 month and then just binge watch it over the course of like a week, where we'll watch like an episode a night or whatever, and then just cancel it because AMC Plus is dumb.
Well, they don't have Slip and Jimmy on it anymore, so...
Fuck! You're right, Jim. Slip and Jimmy fades away with time. Slip and Jimmy is the epic, like, Big Mouth-esque fucking show set in the Better Call Saul universe. Oh, yeah. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not going to say anymore.
I played a short interactive experience called The Colossus is Coming. It was a free game. Cool. It was interesting, and the guy wrote music for it, and he had it linked on his Spotify, so I was listening to that. It was neat. I read some books. I read The Deep by Craig Davidson. It was good. Another book by Craig Davidson. He's a good author. And I also read Little Heaven, which is the same author, Craig Davidson. Both very good horror books. I think The Deep was explicitly more scary than Little Heaven, but Little Heaven was a Western, so I liked it.
Okay.
And I tried to re-listen to Limetown, the podcast I never shut up about, but they've added music into different scenes since the last time I listened to it. Like,
you were saying that, yeah.
Background music. And I don't know why they did it, because it just really takes you out of what's going on. which was frustrating to me. So I wonder if there's like a backup copy somewhere that's not been fucked with that I can listen to. And I've also been reading a lot of SCP stories. And me and Dan have been talking about SCPs a lot the last month or so. I read most of DJ Cactus. He's a prolific author on the SCP wiki. Yep. I haven't read all of his articles yet, but he wrote like You Do Not Recognize the Bodies in the Water and all that stuff. He rewrote the article for SCP-49, the Plague Doctor and shit like that. So
I didn't know that. He wrote the Plague I had no clue about that one. Wow.
Because when I first read it in 2011, it was a fucking stupid article, and then he rewrote it like 5 years ago, and the article's actually good now. So
cool.
But that's it for me for the bi-weekly breakdown. I read a lot of books. That's what I've been doing the last little while and reading a lot. So I'm working, and so it hasn't been a lot of like exciting stuff that I've been doing.
It's been life, Jim. Life's exciting. Existing on this planet is exciting. Me and Jim have not been playing too many video games. I feel like it's been busy. After COVID, I kind of felt like I needed to get back into the swing of stuff, so I just didn't really... I've not been doing much. I've just been just existing.
I've been playing some Deep Rock with Brandon and his friends, but I don't feel like I need to talk about Deep Rock every time I play it, because if you ask me, I've probably played about 5 or 6 hours of Deep Rock a week for the last, fucking 2 years. So. Yeah,
literally. Well, Jim, I'm excited to get into it. If
we're getting into it. We're getting into the fucking epic film, RRR. It's an amazing movie. Dan, what is RRR? What is it?
So, RRR is a Indian, and this is self-proclaimed on their Wikipedia page, it is an Indian epic action and drama film that came out, I believe, 2022, either the tail end of 2021, or it, just came out at the spring of 2022, and it is fucking amazing. If I say that we watched a 3-hour-long movie made from India, and you scoff, this movie is for those people. This movie is to sit those people down and be like, watch this really insane movie, and you'll go away loving it, I promise you.
I feel like on the outset of this, and what I really want to talk about, and I want to preface our discussion of this, was a couple weeks ago I watched that movie with Jason Statham, the guy directed by Guy Ritchie, where he just is a Garda guy and he moves money around. It's supposed to be an epic action film where
yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and I watched this, and this movie is so much fucking better. A guy literally picks up a motorcycle and slams it into a bunch of British soldiers. It's amazing.
Yeah, so this movie is broad strokes. It's set in the 1920s, and it follows... So I didn't know this. Jim, you told me this. It follows two people who are fictionalized real people. They were two real people in the real world, but this story is them super fictionalized, basically fighting I believe it's the British Raj in 1920s, 1930s, that type of era.
Yeah.
And it just follows both of their lives, how they get kind of intertwined together, and what happens over the course of, I think it's a year or so, give or take, something like that, between when they meet and when what happens. And it's just balls to the wall fucking insanity from pretty much minute one. And it is 3 hours long, and it feels like a brisk hour. Yeah. It's separated so well. This is the problem with Western movies as well. If you want to talk about big, long movies, what comes to mind is your Endgames, your Infinity Wars, your stuff like that.
That's what Dan kept bringing up when we were watching the movie was... Infinity War was this long, and it felt so fucking long. It felt fucking long.
It felt long and big, and I'm not saying it's bad.
Here's the thing with this movie is that it feels to me like one of the old westerns. These two guys, these guys in real life, Beam and Raju.
Yep.
They were real revolutionaries or whatever, but they've been mythologized in this film.
Pretty much. They're superheroes.
They're fucking Billy the Kid. They're fucking Pat Garrett. They're just larger than life figures from history. So they put into this film where they're and all of the stuff around them is fake, basically. Ram wasn't a fucking,
Are you saying Akhtar Beam did not slam down his feet into a motorcycle's front tire, pick it up, and then spin it around like a disco ball in Yakuza, and then throw it at someone else?
I don't think he fought tigers on the rig either.
Fuck.
But, this movie, I would say that the differentiation between something like Endgame and Infinity War and something like this is I have intense Marvel fatigue right now.
Me too.
I don't see it going away anytime soon because I don't fucking want to have to watch a million billion fucking things. And when you watch Infinity War or Endgame, there's so many fucking characters and shit going on. And this movie is two guys. Two guys.
It's two people, and they introduce them in the movie. You don't need to read the three other movies' plot lines before this movie. They introduce them.
Well, it's even like it's a 40-minute intro. We talked about it. It's a 40-minute intro of this movie where the first scene is like Raj is in like a police station and people are rioting outside, and the head British guy is like, "I want that man arrested who threw that rock that broke the picture of the king." So Raj literally jumps into the crowd and fights hordes of men and is like throwing them off and beating them with a stick and shit before he gets that guy and drags him back and throws him into the compound.
It's
and
like a 5 to 10 minute just horde fight scene. He's like smashing people's heads in and getting dogpiled and then fighting people under like a sky of people. It's so stupid.
And he gets smashed in the head with a rock, and he gets his fucking legs kicked in and stuff, and he goes back to the compound, puts some water in his face, and stands back at attention.
Oh my god. He dissipates the crowd single-handedly when he does that. It shows the shot from above, and it's like a wasteland. There are people limping and crawling away and stuff.
He's
it's
soundly
just so
defeated
silly.
The entire horde of people.
Yep, that's how they show the first character. And the other character they show originally fighting a lion in the jungle and running away from it.
The British Raj, he comes into a village with his wife, and his wife like abducts a little girl because she can sing good.
She can dub over sing well.
Beam is like the protector of this tribe, so they're like I don't think he's there when this scene happens, but then like they're like, there's a scene where guys like, he's talking to the Raj's henchman, and he's like, you don't know the protector of this tribe, he's gonna come at you, he's gonna come at you hard. And then you see an entire scene, this is how Beam's introduced, he's running through the fucking forest and he fights a fucking tiger and wins.
Yes, and getting into that, that's the first scene that you'll notice the CG, and my god, like, CG in movies here is generally, they're following these couple things. It's usually shot at night, or in the rain.
You can't fucking see anything.
Or you can't see anything. There are movies, obviously, that don't do that, but a lot of them do that. It's that to cover up easy mistakes, you shoot CG like that so you can't really see. This movie, they know sometimes the CG doesn't look perfect. Who gives a shit? It's shot wide daytime. You can see everything. It's fun. It's actiony. It's colorful. And they shoot it on hard-to-shoot CG surfaces, like running through leaves and shit like that. Like, they're really giving it their all, and it's really good to see.
I talked about when the scene is happening, because the tiger's, like, chasing Beam. And
it looks so good.
I think there's a wolf in the scene too, maybe, and they're fighting each other and they're kicking up leaves, and I was like, I don't know, I can't tell if those leaves are CGI or not.
Yeah.
And I told Dan the story of when they made Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's a scene where Roger Rabbit's hiding in like the back room of the bar, and Eddie knocks a light, and the people who animated Roger Rabbit animated perfectly the shadow of the fucking light bulb going across Roger Rabbit's body back and forth as the light kept moving around. And that's the kind of shit that I saw in this movie. It may have been, CGI leaves or whatever, but it was like kicking up leaves and Beam was kicking up leaves and he was running away and stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be so realistic for me to be like, okay, this is an awesome scene. It looked good.
Yeah, it was like really fucking cool, and you could see what was going on. And there's a dozen other scenes like that where it's like, clearly this is CG. Who gives a fuck? Like, it looks cool and it's a fun movie to watch. It's interesting to look at, and it's not interesting just because of the CG. They've used CG in such a way that it's like, this scene's super duper cool when he slides in the fucking Jeep and he opens up the side and 20 dozen animals shoot out of the side and he jumps like a god in midair, flaming, two hands sabered, and he looks fucking badass. It's super duper cool. I love it.
I feel like that people were bitching and moaning about about Prey as well, because Prey has like a CGI bear and stuff like that, but it's shot in the light when she's running away from the bear and stuff like that. And it's like, there's never going to be CGI that looks perfect. There's never going to be CGI that's not going to like have your brain detect the uncanny valley.
Something's
like,
off.
Never going to happen.
Yeah, Cassie said that about The Bear and Prey. We actually watched that as well, and even Cassie's usually not the best to be like, this is bad CG or anything, but even she was like, that bear looks a bit weird. It doesn't look like it's like moving properly. It doesn't look like it's really weighted properly. It's just kind of on the environment moving around. It didn't look natural. I kind of thought it looked weird too. I don't know what you thought.
I thought that, you know, the thing with that scene too is it interacted with the environment. Like, it interacted with the lady running away from it. It interacted with her dog chasing it as well, and it interacted with the predator. So I think bad CGI to me is like when a character is in a scene, like some of those shots in the new Spider-Man movies, when you can just tell it's like a CGI fucking Spider-Man going around and shit. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that stuff. Like, if I see an entire scene that is just CGI, it kind of takes me out of it.
It's just a video game cutscene.
They fucking tried. They fucking tried with the bear. They tried here, and I don't think they were going for realism with RRR in any situation in this film. They just put shit together to make it look fucking awesome.
To make it look amazing, and they succeeded in every sense of the word. I want to touch on the budget real quick. The budget for this movie was a big boy budget for Indian films. It was actually the most expensive Indian film ever made. Did you know that, Jim?
I did not know that.
It cost, I've converted it to like USD and stuff like that, just so I'm not talking in like lakhs or rupees or the general currency. It had a budget of about 72 million US dollars, which in North America, that's a lot of money for a movie, but that's not a lot of money for a movie. That's not like...
That's not a Marvel movie.
No, that's not even a Marvel TV show. But, yeah, budget of $72 million. Most expensive Indian film ever made currently to date, which is super duper cool. And even better than that, it broke box office records, firstly locally, like in domestic. I think it made something like 50 million US dollars in the first day, which is huge for that like area of the world. Huge for that box office.
That's huge for any opening in the friggin' planet.
Yeah. And even better than that, it made triple that worldwide. It made 150 million US dollars worldwide over the course.
Fucking money back.
100% they did. And I don't know what it is about, if it was just a perfect storm of stuff happening in the world where people had free time and they were looking at movies, but I don't ever remember seeing an Indian movie like this that got so much notoriety and so much recognition in the Western world, or like in our culture. Like, I saw YouTubers and stuff like Jacob Geller and all those people on Twitter were talking about this movie, and I never saw that. I never see that with anything.
Yeah, I remember listening to the Dungeons and Daddies guys talking about it. I don't know if it was in an extra podcast or on their Patreon or something, but I was like, oh, cool, I should check that out. Because I have watched Bollywood movies in the past. I just don't remember them. Like, I I had to watch one for school, and I just cannot remember the name of it for the love of my life. But, I'm not going to forget RRR. It was fucking cool as shit. It was so fucking neat.
Yeah, I'd really love to have this movie on a nice Blu-ray copy. I feel like that would be a maybe hard thing to buy right now, at least. But, like, the audience is there. Canadian people loved this movie. Even my dad talked about this movie. I don't think he's seen it, but, like, this isn't the type of movie that he would ever talk about. And I don't think he will ever sit down and watch it, but he knew about it, and that's it. Like, him knowing about it's a big thing. Usually all he knows about is like Resident Evil Mercenaries, Ada Wong kick, and stuff like that.
Yes. I wanted to get more back into the content of the film. So what are your favorite epic moments in the film, Dan?
Okay, talking real quick, moments in RRR, there's a lot to talk about. I think one of my truly favorite scenes puts a smile on my face, and I know Jim was clapping. It's when they're at the party.
Oh, that's my favorite scene in the movie. So Beam likes this British lady who's actually the niece of the Raj.
Yep.
And he's like, I don't know how to talk to her or whatever. And at this point, him and Ram are friends. And Ram is like, all right, this is what you do. And he like busts her tire with a bunch of nails. And they spend like the day together. And then he ends up going to like the party with her. And this fucking British idiot is like, he river dancing at them. And he knocks them over and calls them brown people, whatever the fuck. And then Raju and Beam are like, have you ever danced this dance? And it's basically just like, I don't really know
the Desi
what it is.
Notch.
Yeah, I don't really know what do you know what the dance is, Dan? Do you know what the
It
cultural
seems
impact
like,
of the dance?
from what I could look it up, it seems like it's one of those dances that is done at big, huge festivals. It's an easy dance to teach people, and you'll just get hundreds of people to do it at once, and it's just a huge, like, pretty much just move around, stomp your feet real loud, like, jump up and down, just, like, a fucking huge cultural dance, but it's super duper cool, and the energy behind it is insane.
The song they sang while they do this whole
so
choreography
good.
is called Nacho Nacho, where they just sing Nacho Nacho Nacho. And I think in the language that it's filmed in, that just means dance. They're just saying dance, 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 and then a bunch of like lyrics to do with like how good of friends they are and how much they love fucking dancing. And through the course of this dance, like all the white British ladies fall in love with fucking with Raju, and they're like, oh, go, go, and all the British guys try to dance, and they all fall on their asses and they can't do it, and then at the end Raju he like fakes a cramp so Beam can win, so friggin' his girlfriend,
so Jenny likes him. Jenny's like, oh my god, he did it. That's another thing about this movie that you don't see too much anymore in some of the big releases here. If people are friends in Western movies, you just generally are told that they're friends. You know, you might have a flashback or whatever of their childhood. You see Beam, like, you see Akhtar and Raju in this movie do a lot of friend shit. They're, like, shopping together, and they're walking through a field together and hiking
driving
and
on
just
bikes
talking.
together.
My favorite is when they're on a motorcycle, and Beam, like, pretends to swerve around something, and, like, Raju, you can see him get scared, and then he, like, smiles and pats his back. Just stuff like that.
I think that there's a cultural difference there too, where I know that people who are like best friends in Indian culture, two guys, they will like spend all their time together and like talk about how much they love each other and hang out and do all that stuff. That's a very like culturally normal thing.
This is me and you, Jim. That's me and you.
Whereas in like Western culture and Western movies and stuff, I think when two guys are best friends, they like, I don't know, they drink together and they have a case of the not gays where they go after girls together. But in this movie, it just doesn't matter.
They love each other. They're best buds.
They're fucking brothers. Like, they don't give a shit.
I love it. I wish Western culture was more like that. Like, you can be best friends with someone. You can love your best friend and stuff. It's very nice to do all this cool, fun shit. You don't have to, like, solemnly drink a beer together and look over and just nod at each other.
Yeah. You can enjoy life.
You can enjoy your friends. This just in. You can have fun with your friends and dance the Desi Nach dance.
I feel like we can talk about different moments in this film.
You talk about something, Jim. I talked about the dancing with the overalls where they were slamming their feet. You tell me something cool.
I like the part where Raju and Beam, they're like on opposite sides of the spectrum. You think, because Raju's like a British soldier. Yep. He's in the British military, and he's like trying to catch Beam because he thinks he's going to go after the Raj and steal his family member back, which he is trying to do that. So they don't know that they don't know their secret identities, and then Raju like captures one of Beam's friends and tortures him, and they figure out who each other are, and Beam gets captured. And the part where Beam is like being flogged in front of like hordes and hordes of people in front of the Raj, and he sings a song that's like, Beam, you will not bow your fucking knee. You will be you are strong, and you will show
I
them.
love that song. That song literally is like, I hate English slavery. I hate the British Empire. Don't bow your knee to the British Empire.
Raju's so literally whipping him with a whip full of fucking nails, and blood is cascading down his body, and he will not kneel.
He's a god. He's love Akhtar.
God. It's just a bunch of stuff like that. I think the thrust of this film is, I don't even know if these two revolutionaries even met each other in real life, but a lot of this has to do with the civil unrest, like from British occupation of India.
Yep.
And lots of scenes of Indian people just getting the shit kicked out of them by British soldiers. And fuck, I just love all the scenes where Raju and Beam like grab fucking British soldiers and throw fucking British soldiers, like just clothesline other British soldiers with them. And Beam like throws like jaguars and shit at fucking British soldiers and stuff, and they get eviscerated. And there's the scene where there's the flashback scenes where Raju's a kid and he's in like a warfare camp, like a guerrilla camp.
Yep.
And his dad or uncle, I'm not really sure which, teaching him how to shoot, and he just keeps fucking doming British soldiers. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of British soldier death, and I was talking to Jim and Cass about halfway through this movie. There is I think it was by the Daily Mail or one of the popular UK papers, and it got this shit ripped out of it because it's a horrendous review for the movie. But it was essentially like, this movie makes me feel really awkward. Like, why are the British people the bad people? Like, it makes me feel awkward that they were getting killed like that in the movie. And all the comments,
and destroyed civilizations across the
literally.
Fucking globe.
It's nice to see a movie that doesn't paint the British Empire as a nice
Epic.
king and queen.
Yeah, it was truly like...
It was different to see that. You don't see that in movies here generally, because from our side of history, we don't have a correlation to that because we're a British, like,
me and you are
settlement
subjects.
area. Like,
me and
that's
you are British subjects right now.
Yeah. Fuck the Queen.
Fuck the Queen. And well, I will also say that I was talking to you about this when we were watching the movie last night too, is that people watch movies like The Patriot where Mel Gibson will go out and kill 100 fucking British soldiers and whatever, and they're painted as evil or whatever, and white people don't have a fucking problem with that. It's when it's people of different races killing white people that they don't like.
You are exactly correct. It's when it's an Indian dude killing a bunch of British soldiers because now it has something tied to it. He's not an Indian dude killing other Indian people. He's an Indian dude killing the occupiers of his country. I also, speaking about that, I love the final song where it's bringing all the Indian provinces and city-states together under one flag, and it's literally just like...
Let me pull up the name of the song. Because I downloaded the soundtrack today, and I was listening it on the bus while I was at work and stuff, and at work and shit. It was a good friggin' time. My phone is just going to take a second to load this up.
The end song literally is talking about how much we should love the Indian flag because of what it stands for and what we fought for it. And I'm like, that's so nice. Like, that is so nice to see, such patriotic love for your flag. And these people fought for it in the movie. It was so good.
Sholay. That's what the song is called. Sholay. And they talk about all the different Indian provinces and cultures and how they're just like epic. And then the song is sung by like Jenny and
everyone. They bring back everyone.
And Raju and Beam and Raju's wife. And then the director comes out and he starts singing and dancing with the rest of them. It was fucking amazing.
It's such an, like, for lack of a better term, it's such like a Bollywood-esque thing to have at the end of the movie. It's completely like non-canon. They're looking directly at the lens of the camera the whole time. They're singing to you. Everyone's just dancing around. They're on a big set. And it's such a fucking fun way to end the movie. I could imagine sitting in a theater and that happening after 3 hours, and it just lifts your spirits as you leave the theaters.
Well, I remember, I was thinking of like the ending of Blazing Saddles, where they all go out to like the studio lot and sing and dance around, and they're smashing through walls and stuff. Or how Alfred Hitchcock like put himself in his own movies and stuff like that. It's auteurism. This guy is an auteur. He's making fucking... he's making good fucking films.
It's nice to see. This movie makes me happy. It's a fucking fun movie to watch, and it makes me happy. I will gladly watch this 3-hour movie again with anyone that wants to watch it.
Let me tell you, I got up and I had a headache, and I was getting ready for work, and I got my shit together, got out the door, and I was walking down the street to the bus stop. It takes me like 15 minutes to get there. And I was just like, what should I put on? I have this soundtrack. Let me put it on. And I put on Nacho, and that's the part where they go, Nacho. I just started laughing in the street. It was so fucking fun.
I'm going to download that. Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to download that as well. That's a very good idea.
Yeah, I do think that the music in this film, it varies too. Like, there's a lot of like...
There's a lot of
vocals
different
of the
stuff.
girls singing and like really big like musical numbers and shit like that, but it varies. Like the thing with a 3.5 hour long Marvel movie is that it's the same shit the entire fucking time. But with this movie, it's like, oh, here's an epic battle scene where they fight like 16 guys in the woods and they're shooting guns and hitting them with arrows and shit. And now here's a musical number where they're all singing and dancing.
I love it.
And here's another scene where they're being best friends. And the other greatest part of the movie is when the 40-minute intro ends and they just like see each other because there's a kid like trapped under a bridge with a train that's like on fire, like an oil train, and they just see each other. Raji's on the bridge and Beam's on the shore. And they look at each other, they make some signs and they nod, and then one of them rides a horse across the bridge, and then one rides a motorcycle, and they swing like one of those balls in people's nests. They swing on either side of the friggin' bridge and grab the kid and wrap them. Like, it's just so fucking cool.
There's a bunch of cool shit. This is how you know it's a good movie. It's because Jim 3 times now has gone, this is the other best part of the movie. But I'm thinking about that. My example is when it was about an hour and a bit into the movie, and I was trying to remember all the really cool shit that I'm still excited for, and then I was like, oh my god, all that hasn't even happened yet. It's already been so good, and the best parts in my mind haven't even happened, and it feels like it's just about to happen. It was so fucking good, and it's split up and it's segmented into such nice, clean parts. It flows so nicely over the 3 hours. It doesn't ever feel like it's dragging or that it's like something's not happening and something's not just around the corner. It's always got a forward momentum on it, which is another huge thing.
You're waiting in anticipation for the next fun thing to happen.
Yes, because they always are talking about it. They're like, you know, soon Akhtar wants to go into the British embassy's house, or you know that something is going to happen. That like Raj is so close to finding out that Akhtar is like who he's been looking for, or that someone's going to get executed, or now someone's being like tortured. There's always shit going on.
It's just like, I don't know what happened to big Hollywood movies. Like, I was thinking of Moonfall, like this today.
Jim was watching RRR. Jim was watching RRR, but he was really thinking about that Lexus promo.
I'm not going to go into Moonfall again, but Moonfall is fucking dog shit. And it costs like $75 million more than this.
Oh my god, that makes me sad to think about.
Like what the fuck were they spending money on?
Yeah.
I'm sure that comparatively, like, salaries and stuff for Bollywood actors are probably not as large, but I don't think that the majority of a film's budget goes to paying the actors and extras and stuff like that.
I don't think so. You know what cost so much money in Moonfall, Jim? Every fucking scene was CG. The motorcycle coming out of the fucking parking lot was CG for some reason.
And not every part of this movie is CG either. I think we talked about it a lot.
Not at all.
Some of the, you know, stunts that they do, they don't look realistic, but the fact that Cassie was saying this when we were watching the movie too, that you could pause this movie at like 150 different locations and it would be an awesome poster you'd see on like a 16-year-old boy's wall.
Oh, if I watched this movie in grade 9, I thought I would have found a treat. I would have shown this to every single person I knew.
Really, like,
the magic is lost in North America, Jim. Now all we have is Moonfall sequels and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
All we have is Marvel marveling the 42nd. Yeah, sorry for Marvel fans, but I'm not looking forward to any of that stuff. And
I don't hate Marvel movies, I will say. There are some popcorn movies, but it's exactly what you said earlier, and I felt it watching, what's the new Doctor Strange one?
That one was dog shit.
Something of Madness, something like that, whatever it was called. And it was really like, I don't want to have to watch the TV show to get more out of the movie. Like, and I'm pretty familiar with the comic book characters and stuff like that. I like to keep up on all that random stuff. But I just don't like that aspect of it where in 2 more years I'm going to have to watch, you know, 2 seasons of this and then the side characters show to understand more about the movie. I don't want to fucking do that. Let me sit down and watch a movie.
I feel like we talk about this a lot, and I feel like when people look at my movie collection, they're like, oh, that's a lot of weird stuff. But it's just like, I want to have a movie that I can just sit down and watch and like.
Yep.
I'm not saying that I don't like movies that follow up on TV shows or have like a big backstory or something like that. But I like 90% of the movies I want to watch, I just want to like sit down and have a good fucking time. And I don't want to sit down and watch Marvel movies because I'm trying to remember shit Dick Riddick from fucking Loki show episode 3, and now he's in this fucking movie. Like, I don't care.
Well, I'm very excited because I think this has opened up a whole new world of like.
Oh,
movies for me.
Brandon was sending gifs from the some
I've
of the
got
other
it
movies
right
that this
now. I
guy's
was
directed.
just about to say that. I think we need to watch that. Bahubali.
Bahubali and Bahubali 2. I really, really, really want to watch those. Brandon sent a gif where a bunch of guys were on a palm tree and then they cut a fucking rope and they sprung themselves in and they turned into a cannonball and knocked over a bunch of soldiers. It was so fucking cool. Like, I don't know why movies aren't more stupid, because this movie had a lot of stupid stuff in it. It had like
it did.
Fighting tigers and at one point the two guys, Raju and Beam, like Raju's legs are fucked up for being
the prison break
in a prison, so he literally climbs on Beam's shoulders and they become one person, and they're firing 2 bolt action rifles at the same time, and Raju like fires and he puts the rifles down and Beam will cock them and then he fires them at other guys. Like, it's so fucking cool.
There's just a lot of stupid shit going on and it's fun to watch, and I don't have to base my entire personality on it. I don't have to consume the RRR pre-movie, and I don't have to follow about what happened after the movie, and I don't have to watch the series that they're gonna air on Indian Netflix.
It's easy to like. It's easy to like. And same thing when we're gonna watch these Bahubali movies.
I know we're gonna like those.
We're gonna watch them. Me and Dan are gonna sit down at Dan's place. I'm gonna take my shoes and socks off. We're gonna drink big glasses of water, and I'm gonna sit there and we're gonna fucking pog and point at each other and scream, "Oh fuck, that was so fucking cool," and stuff like that the whole time.
Oh, it's gonna feel so fucking good. They're on YouTube to buy or rent or whatever, so we'll definitely have to watch them soon.
Movies are meant to be engaging. That is the number one thing you should be willing to... That's the number one goal you should be willing to hit when you try to make a movie. Our people, they don't have to like it. They don't have to think it's cool or funny or whatever, but are they gonna be engrossed by it? And I was 150% engrossed by RRR.
Are you not going to want to get up 25 minutes into the Cats movie when your kids is running up and down the aisle and leave? You would, if someone left in the middle of RRR, I'd be so furious at them.
I've watched a lot of good movies in the row too, because I wanted to bring this stuff up about Nope. And there's going to be spoilers for Nope, so skip ahead like a minute and a half or something if you don't want any spoilers. But I was thinking about just like stuff that I had not seen in a movie before. Like, some of the stuff in Nope was so fucking cool. Like, a lot of the movie's CGI, like all the stuff with the spaceship and shit like that is all CGI. But again, like, it's in the daylight. Like, it happens.
You can see shit.
It happens at the beginning of the movie. You can't really see it. You see it like moving through clouds and stuff like that. And the climax of the movie is in the middle of the fucking like evening, where you can see everything that's going on. And some of the scenes in that movie too, where the people are being digested by the UFO, like. It was like, that was some of the most horrifying shit I've ever seen in a fucking movie. Like, it was disgusting.
Talking about that, I agree with you. That at Jupe's Ranch, when it was like the special showing or whatever, the ticket thing, it was fucking gross. Like, Nope was an amazing movie. I think Get Out is still at the top for me for Jordan Peele movies. Or Nope is like the same tier as that.
Yeah,
but Nope
was
super good.
Yeah. I don't think Us is as good as the other two movies, but I still like it a lot.
I really want to rewatch it.
And Get Out was amazing. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times, and this movie is also really good. And RRR is just like, fuck, I want to watch all the other movies made by this guy, because it's so fucking cool.
He's made a lot. Like, he's made a dozen or so other movies, and I really want to too. That's what I was saying. I feel like this has opened up a whole new world of like cinema that I didn't really ever think about watching. Because when you say an Indian film, everyone, hell, it's borderline racist. Everyone always thinks about Bollywood shit instantly. And they're like, I've seen the gifs of Bollywood movies. I don't want to watch it. Like,
but it's like, fuck. The whole time.
Yeah, and it's like, shit, this is amazing.
This movie has a lot of silly aspects to it, but it's not like just like a goof-tacular, like, lighthearted movie. Like, people get tortured, people like get shot. Like, there's a lot of gory action stuff like this. I'm just wondering, like, when did Western movies like forget that movies are supposed to be fun? Like, I was also thinking of Commando, because Commando is like a stupid fucking movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and it just has like big stupid scenes where stupid shit happens, and people love those movies. And all of that energy of like bombast and action and over the top stuff is just alive in foreign films. Like, it's still going on. Like, you didn't have to leave it behind.
I think we lost the magic somewhere between Pacific Rim 1 and Pacific Rim 2. I think that's where we lost the magic, Jim.
Pacific Rim is fucking awesome. That's an awesome movie.
Yeah. But I know that in the future there's going to be an episode on Bahubali 1 and 2. It's probably going to be maybe 2 episodes because they're like 2.5-hour movies apiece.
That's
but
fine.
you watch them together. They're supposed to be watched back to back, I believe.
I don't think that we can say it more and more, but just go and watch this fucking movie.
It's on fucking Netflix. It's on Canadian Netflix. You don't have to do any weird things to watch it. Just go and watch it tonight.
Just go and watch the friggin' movie and look this guy up and look up, like, here's the thing. I hear all this shit about people getting stuck in ruts. And we're getting older too. Me and Dan are in our 20s. And we are getting to the point where we know people who are like, man, I just go home, but I watch The Office, and then I go to sleep, and I don't feel like my life is... Like, you have... Like, we talk about it again and again and again. You have to be looking for stuff that's going to keep your interest. You have to be a well-rounded person who wants to engage. Like, half of the battle of feeling better is you can't be doing the same shit you always did. And part of me and part of why I love life and I love going out and talking about movies and talking about random shit on my podcast is that I find shit that I never would have thought of looking at, and I'm like, oh my god, this is my new favorite thing. And then I strut down the street going, nacho, 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 and that's what I'm doing.
Jim's life is forever changed. Yeah, I'm the same way. Just look up shit that you might have never expected yourself to like, especially movies and stuff. It's such easy forms of entertainment. But look up shit that's interesting. Like, do different stuff. For the love of God, don't go home and just become stagnant as you grow older. It's such a bad thing to have happen, and it's so sad when you see it happening to people. Like, do stuff. Always be doing stuff.
Like the guys in RRR. Like the guys in RRR.
Always be doing stuff. Like them. Be revolutionaries.
Go and fight your fight. Go and get your girl. Go and confide in your friends and be best friends and tell your best friend that you fucking love them. Like, do shit like that. Save kids. Do whatever. You don't have to be
kids. You
don't have to be a fucking action star, but you gotta go out and put into life what you want to get out, right?
Yeah. I am good with what we talked about with RRR. I feel like everyone knows our opinions on it. I'm about done to wrap up with this episode.
Yeah, this one's a little shorter, but I mean, I don't know what else we can say.
It's good.
Other than every 10 minutes in this movie, another amazing thing happens. It makes your friggin' eyes gape and your mouth fall open and you point at the screen and scream like an ape. Like, it's fucking, just watch it. Yeah. I'm super excited to watch Bahubali and stuff. Like, it's gonna be so fucking good.
I've seen GIFs of that movie. I didn't know that's what it was called, but when Brandon sent that GIF, I was like, oh, I've definitely seen shit from this movie. And if that's only like a 3-second GIF, I can only imagine what the other 5 hours of both movies are like.
Ruby
loves RRR. She says, I love Bahubali.
Meow. All right. Everybody, we're winding down on Shack Out Back. For next week, let me pull out my list here. I think I have an idea of what I want to do. It's going to be a little bit of a lighter one for next week. Not too much watching.
That's okay.
Not too much stuff. SOB topics. I want to talk about our favorite SCPs, Dan. I want us to pick,
that's a good one.
I want us to pick like 3 or 4 each, and then bring them to the table. For people who don't know, SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect. It's a big fiction sort of repository on the internet. It's been going for over 10 years. There's like over 7,000 stories that are listed there, and they're just like, a lot of them are horror, but a lot of them are like goofy stuff. And the abstract of the Foundation, they just like locate these objects, they contain them, and then they make sure that people don't encounter them and don't get fucked up by them. But there's like bunch of different stuff. There's a weird bear shit that makes things out of meat. There's like a big lizard that can't die. There's literal gods and demons and shit like that. And then like a coffee cup or a coffee machine that will shoot out any liquid known to man. Just like,
I like that. That is a super, super good topic. I'm surprised we haven't done something like that, but I'm super excited.
We talked about SCPs a little bit when we did the How to
I think it was a horror episode or something.
Yeah. But I want to go more in depth on our favorite ones. Because I know me and you have been reading and watching videos on them a lot more lately. So bring us out here. I'm at Popeye Barkin on Twitter. The other guy's at Dan Sama with 2 A's. You can follow us at Shack Out Back Pod.
Yep.
The intro music The intro music is by the wonderful, luxurious Lee Jackson. All podcast art animations by CassieHDesign.com, Brandon Chen on ArtStation and Instagram, and Dollbox02 on Instagram. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Dan? Before
if you're still listening 49 minutes in or whatever, 48 minutes in, I will say thank you so much, because there are people listening and it's very good to see. Message us on Twitter if you have any topics you want us to talk about. And
follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. Rate us. We're on Apple Podcasts. Super good to get rated on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have enough episodes now. And it's really good.
We need to talk about that game that the person on Twitter sent
Lost in
us.
Vivo, yeah.
Lost in Vivo, yeah. I'm excited to look at that. We need to do like a horror game episode or something.
It's getting closer to October.
That's it. That's it for us. Also closer to our 2-year anniversary, Dan.
That is true. Me and Jim are going to kiss live on the air, and I'll post it. But that is good night, everyone.
All right, I'll see you later. Dan, take us out. Sing. Let's just fade out on us both singing "Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho." So let's just go.
Nacho,
Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho, Nacho,
Nacho. Good night, darling.
Goodbye, Jill.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, everybody.